what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Brothers in Tech is a weekly podcast focused on personal and home technology, helping provide you, our fellow brothers and sisters in tech, with some information, assistance, and recommendations. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Brothers in Tech.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Brothers in Tech. Oh, I'm sorry. I felt like I was the host after last week. I thought this is what people wanted, and I was going to. No, anyway, you go ahead. You do.
Are you sure? Is it okay if I continue? Yeah, Brian had his little bout of getting to host by himself last week as I was incapacitated for the week. And Brian, you did a good job. I will say that. I did watch the show.
Wow. Okay, you were the one. That's good.
I skimmed through parts of it just to see if you were going to embarrass yourself or not, and you didn't. Yeah. You did fine. So I appreciate you holding down the fort last week. This is Brothers in Tech. This is our podcast where we talk about technology, but we really try to hone on it from a home and family, personal side of things. So don't get into the corporate tech, enterprise tech. We talk about things that people could be using day to day in their own daily lives. And, we try to get together when we talk about some aspect of technology, home or personal tech, that is really, we think, appealing to a lot of people, something that could be a little bit of an educational tool for them. But today's episode is one that we do every few weeks, try to do about once a month. And we'd be lying if we didn't say it was kind of our favorite to do, just because.
No, it's clearly our favorite. Yeah.
It's our Brothers in Tech suggestions episode. This is the one where Brian and I both bring some technology to the table that we want to showcase for one another. I don't know what Brian's bringing. Brian doesn't know what I'm bringing. I think the end goal here is to see, can we convince the other brother to spend money on these things that we're showing. And plus, it is truly useful or interesting tech that we've started using or finding in our lives, and we want to kind of share as a recommendation to others to consider as well. So before we get into that, Brian, you doing okay? Everything good? This is our one time to talk week, so I'm just kind of checking in with you.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm glad you were, back with us. Again, I know people were worried, I'm sure, and but then of course they listened to the episode and realized there was nothing to worry about. And I still talked for 45 minutes. You know that, right? I mean, I know you didn't quite get through your, my entire episode, but I came in, did the episode one shot, by the way, right? You said I could record it, but one shot, and I came out, and my wife said, "You were in there for 45. You were talking to yourself for 45 minutes." I said, "Well, I got on a roll, right? I got on a roll. We talked about meal services. Happens. I had a lot of meal services to talk about, and that was kind of fun. But I missed you. I mean, this is a lot more fun. So
I appreciate it. Yeah, I was not feeling great last week. Appreciate you taking the reins on for the week, but I am back and roaring and ready to go with this week's episode. So let's jump right into it, Brian. Our Brothers in Tech suggestions for August 2022.
There you go.
For this month.
Yep.
And I think we both have two kind of suggestions that we want to give. Yep. So let's ping pong those back and forth. I'm going to have you start us off, Brian. What is your first Brothers in Tech suggestion for us today?
Okay. So let me start by saying that I'm cheating just a little bit. I'm stretching the term technology here, given this Brother in Tech suggestion. And although there is some form of tech with this, it's probably not technology, but it is something that I have purchased recently, which I'm pretty excited about. So I wanted to share that with everybody. Alan, if you will go ahead and share my screen or my window. So my pick this week is the Blackstone Original 36-inch griddle. Now, again, I am completely stretching the term technology here, but there is, by the way, a lighter that has a AA battery in it. The AA battery is there for a click-on lighter. So I think we've got to call it technology.
You're good. You're covered.
So first of all, let me say I did not buy this used. And Alan, that I love buying used things. I'm a big Craigslist marketplace kind of person. So I bought this used, but I am tickled by it. For those that are really interested in outdoor cooking, we have a grill. We have a pellet grill, actually, Alan. I think it was a pick of mine maybe a year or two ago.
I remember.
That we use, very small one. But my wife has always known that I love to pretend like I cook. I love the Japanese steakhouses where they cook in front of you. I used to love as a kid watching the cooks at Waffle House cook on a big flat top, and I always had a desire to cook that way, or at least pretend like I was cooking that way. And so actually my wife found this used and got it for me. And I have had such a good time with it. So it's an outdoor griddle. It's a large griddle. As you can see, it's 36 inches wide, cooking space. It's got 4 burners on it. So the way this works is you light the left burner, and of course it starts that side of the grill, and then you can carry over and turn them all on if you're going to be cooking over the whole space. I actually tend to cook with about half of the space, and then use the right side for like warming, because it still gets a little warm over there, but it's not, cooking. And I bought some hibachi style tools. I've got the big spatulas, that I can move things around and everything. And it's been super fun. So I've probably done, I don't know, in the last 2 months, maybe, been out there maybe 6 or 7 times for breakfast. Pancakes are fantastic on this thing.
I'm sure.
Right? Because you do them all at once. Right? You just put them all at once and you're done in 5 minutes. We did eggs this morning, egg and toast sorts of things. And the beauty is, like say, you can cook a lot of things at once. It's also nice in that it's super easy to clean. If you think about a pan, you're going and you're going to go scrub that a little bit later. I have a brush. I pour water on it like they do at the Japanese steakhouses, and I scrape it really quickly. It gives me so much pleasure to do a quick clean afterwards. But it's also like, Alan, I don't know if you've ever used a what do they call it? A cast iron skillet, right? If you've ever cooked in a cast iron, right? Yeah. So it's similar to a cast iron in that the top of this thing is super heavy and it is super solid. But it's also made kind of like a cast iron where you really can't hurt it. So it's made to scrape. You scrape across it and everything. And it's also, or at least I'm treating it this way. I don't know if this is the case, but I don't tend to clean it with cleaners, right? Like you're not supposed to do, obviously, with a cast iron, right? I go with just water, and it's got oil built into it. It's got, the stuff from previous times I've cooked built in. But since I'm cooking kind of the same stuff all the time, it doesn't really matter.
Sure.
So one of the listeners is asking about griddle cover. It does. Mine came with a cover. I think I noticed that they're providing a free cover when you buy it now. I think typically it had been you could buy the cover. I've got a cover that fits right over it. I'll just go out in the mornings if we're cooking breakfast, pull it off, turn the heat on for a couple of the burners, and in a few minutes I take my stuff out. One round of cooking, whatever it is. I wanted to bring this up to you, Alan, because of timing. That last week I talked about these meal delivery services, and interestingly, given that the service we're with, which is HelloFresh, it's the one of those I talked about last week. It has a lot of meals that you can choose from. Yep. And now that we got this, I've actually chosen a few meals specifically that I know are can be done on a griddle that don't require maybe a lot of water or anything that might run off of this. So I've cooked a couple of the meals that have come with the HelloFresh. And normally those require a pan where it says, okay, now cook the vegetables. All right, take the vegetables out and put them in a bowl. Now cook the meat. Okay, now come back and put the vegetables in the meat. So I basically finished everything in half the time because I had 2 sides going. Laura was over there doing the veggies. I was doing the beef. And we kind of scraped them together, and then we're good to go. So I don't know. This is, to me, it's not one of the things that I needed because we can do all that cooking indoors. but it's been really hot here. I think, Alan, we've talked about it. It was 100 degrees today out here in the Portland area, which is not something we're totally used to. So cooking outdoors has been much more fun to get out of the house and not turn ovens on in the house and not turn cooktops. So I bought this griddle and have loved it. Alan, I'm going to go really quickly and just show you back on the home screen because I had not done this since I bought this used. But they do have what looks like a camp version here, a small version of the same griddle. They've got a newer version of this griddle, is much more expensive, and I'm not sure what the difference is other than looks like maybe they have warming trays and things like that in it. But this the top of this thing is what's really worth it, right? That big top is one big solid piece. It's got a lip around the back, so you actually can have a lot of sauces and everything in there. Scrape them around. You're not worried about it falling off the edge. It's got a tray on the front, so all the grease kind of rolls forward and then over to the right to a little container. So super fun. It's been super fun to cook on. And so I'm going to call it technology. And we'll say that I'll tie in again with the meal services and that this is kind of a fun way to cook a lot of those. So, yeah. So that's my pick.
I will allow it. It is a stretch. Okay.
But there's a battery. There's a battery.
There's a battery. Okay. That barely crosses the threshold of what I consider technology pick, but it's a cool pick.
It's super fun. Super fun.
And once you get it voice activated, then we'll talk technology picks.
Well, let me also say, Alan, because it's a flat top and because the burners that are underneath are somewhat protected, right? Mm-hmm. I've actually cleaned it. One time I cleaned it when I first got it. I cleaned it with a hose, which was pretty cool, right? I mean, on a grill, you don't think about doing that because you're afraid kind of the water is going to stand in there and all that stuff. But this, I sprayed it off with a hose. I sprayed the entire thing off. It's pretty industrial to be able to use. But, my dreams of being a Waffle House cook are at least allowing me, momentary chances to experience that. So, okay. Of course, we don't have Waffle Houses out here, so I can't go get a job.
I was going to say, that still seems to be just over on our neck of the woods. So
So anyway, the Blackstone griddle, I'm a big fan. So
fun fact: Waffle House is where my boys took me for Father's Day breakfast, and I was super happy. So it was great.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, gonna hide your screen there. Good pick, Brian.
Thanks.
Good
Thank
pick.
you.
Yeah, a little pricey. I mean, it was $400.
I'm hoping. I'm noticing you're probably not going to buy it, but maybe one of our listeners just said it's on their list. So maybe that counts.
Okay.
Maybe that counts as a kind of a win for me. So we'll see.
Well, I'll tell you what. So here's what I'm going to do with my pick, Brian. I'm going to counteract your $400 pick. And I'm going to give you 4 websites that are all perfectly free. Okay. Well, and I'm doing this as a bundle for a reason. I'm doing this as a package. This is all considered one recommendation, but it's 4 different websites I'm going to give because I can go through each of these pretty quick. I stumbled across I don't even remember. I wish I could give proper credit to someone who just on Twitter kind of went on a long thread of, hey, here's a whole bunch of random websites that I use more than I ever thought I would for random reasons, and I want to share them with everybody. And I just went through the websites because I was just kind of curious. And out of the 20 or so they put up there, 4 of them are ones I said, you know what? I am bookmarking these sites. There will be ways I will use these sites.
Wow. And, okay.
And they're kind of a random range of things. So let me hit them for you here real quick. Okay.
These aren't going to be porn, are they?
Well, I mean,
did you have to push all the porn sites off of your bookmarks in order to get them on?
Well, now that you mentioned that, now I'm kind of embarrassed.
Just be pretty careful.
So. Let me show you the first one. This is a website called Photopea. So it's photo and then PEA, like the vegetable pea. And what this is, it's a free website, photopea.com. Brian, you've used Photoshop before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Photoshop is an Adobe product. It is, part of their suite of applications for doing photo editing. adding text or adding other elements to photographs or incorporating photographs into other layouts. If you buy the Adobe version, I mean, it's pretty pricey, or you have to get into a monthly subscription to pay for it.
Yep.
It's a very good, powerful application. However, it is a little out of reach for people who just need it for very, very quick occasional needs. This website is pretty amazing. It's Photopea. I have used it several times now, and I can vouch for it. It works really great. And it basically does a lot of the core functions of what Photoshop does. So let's say you've got a photograph, Brian, and you'd like to add some text to it. And then you'd like to save that out or have it formatted or saved out in a way so somebody else can open it and read it. Or you just want to print it out from there and you need something really nice to lay it out. Photopea will let you, from this website, I can go in and say that I either want to create a new project, and it's going to give me some templates I can work with. It's really nice. It already shows you for social media different layout sizes. Let's say if you want to do an image across the top of a Facebook page, it already gives you the dimensions for that. And I can say, well, I like this one. So I'm going to choose it. Now I've got that template open. If you're familiar with Photoshop at all, you will notice there are layers over here that you can now add layers and modify those layers. I can take the text layer and move it around. I can go get my text tool, which looks very similar to Photoshop over here on the side with these icons. Modify my text. I can move this around now that I've got it in place. Go back to my pointer, move it. I can move the subline. Let me get that one. Put it around. I can add some other photographs. If I've got a photograph on my computer, I want to bring in and drop into this. I can add it as another layer. I can put it behind the text. I can put it in front of the text. I can do those same kind of layered things I do in Photoshop. But again, I'm doing this completely free. Okay. And then I do have options for exporting and saving out as JPEGs or PDF files, or even saving to a PSD file, which is a Photoshop file.
Wow.
So let's say you're somebody who doesn't have Photoshop, but maybe you need to send something to somebody who does, and you want to give them a file to start working on. Well, you can build it here. Or if somebody sends you a Photoshop file and you want to open it up and do something with it, you can actually do it here on this free app on the website. So I was actually really impressed for a free web-based tool, how many functions it would allow you to do still. So if I go in here, if I want to just, let me see if I can add a new layer. I'm adding a layer. And now if I want to open a photo, so here's a photograph of an event. And if I take that and I want to bring it over and drop it into this, now I've put that photo in this Photoshop file. I can layer it. I can put it behind the text, or I can put it in front of the text, move the text layers around. Again, I'm doing a lot of the things that you would see having done in Photoshop, but I'm doing it free in a browser and with no cost, at all to do. And now I can even save it to my desktop, or I can save it. If I say I want to save it as a PSD, which is a Photoshop native file, some options for doing that. I can save it, and it downloads it to my browser, like wherever my browser downloads are. And that's where I have it now. So, and I can go back around and I can go back into Photopea and open up that PSD file I created and work on it just like a Photoshop file. So I'm pretty impressed with how versatile it is. I'm pretty impressed with how powerful it is for a free tool. Yes, there's a lot of things that Photoshop will do that this application won't do. Yeah. But I guarantee you, for 95% of your needs that you would use Photoshop for, you can accomplish them in this photo tool as well. So I'm just, I was pretty amazed with it. I have been playing around with it for a few weeks now. I've actually used it in a couple situations just to see it being used in a real world situation, and it works really great. So
very cool. And I guess the only partial downside is that you've got ads, right? But if that's a very small
there are
piece,
ads you can see all along the side. That's the trade-off you've got, is you're going to have ads on your photo editor app. But after working in it in a few minutes, I forget about it. And
that's great.
It's a small price to pay, I think, for something free. So
wow, no, I love it.
Anyway,
that's great.
Pretty nice. So that's Photoshop. That's Photopea, a Photoshop alternative. If you want to do anything with photo editing or doing some simple layout tools in a Photoshop-like application, but you want to do it for free over the web, that's the way to do it. Photopea, you can create an account. You don't have to. Like right says, it says it's free for $0 a month, and you get all the features. If you wanted to pay $3.33 a month, you can get no ads, and you have a little bit more undo levels in your history where you can go backwards and undo things a little bit further back. And you get some email support, but I mean, feature-wise, you get everything for the free version. So,
Alan, let me ask you about that. If you had an account, well, if you're logged into an account, could you save your file and open it up again later? Do they have an online storage, or do you just save it so that it is a Photoshop version, then you open it up and start working again? How does that work?
So what happens is if you don't pay, you don't have any kind of storage online through Photopea. But what you do have is it links and will show links to your Google Drive, your OneDrive, or your Dropbox. So you can actually connect to there, and that's where you would store your files.
But also it says this device, right? So you could actually save it to your desktop and then open it up at and start working. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right there, if I wanted to do it from there, that's the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
Or I just open from computer and it gives me a pop-up. You're not seeing a pop-up window, but it's letting me open from my computer any file I've got on my desktop. So, yeah.
Wow, you might have just saved money as opposed to cost me money.
Average year $400 and my zero, we're at $200 average. Okay.
Well, like I said, I think you might actually have been in the negative because you're saving me from Photoshop. So,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. CGB.
So you're
on the good.
Just because I'm in this web browser and I've got 3 other sites to share, all the rest of them are nowhere near as useful as Photopea. Okay. But it's amazing to me how much I've still used these and enjoyed these. This is a little more fun, but we're gonna have fun with these. So another site that I was amazed by is a site called my90stv.com.
Yes.
My90stv.com. What this is, and again, a completely free website. I mean, I don't know if anybody would pay for this anyway, but it is a free thing. And it emulates a TV set from the 1990s. I actually had this exact same TV set at one point in my life. Okay. And when you turn it on, it shows 90s television. I can flip through what categories I want to see or not see. Okay. So let me turn it down. I have a remote control so I can control this TV. If I say I don't want to see any commercials, I can uncheck the commercials. If I don't want to see any news, I can uncheck news. But otherwise, I'm going channel by channel, and it is showing me actual television from the 1990s on this TV set. Okay.
Wow.
I'm going to keep going through the channels. This seems to be that's the Addams Family, I believe, movie from the 1990s. I remember that. Go through the channel again. This appears to be, I'm not sure what movie this is, but it does look a little familiar. I'm going to go and turn back on that. I do want to see commercials and news. I'll see. There seems to be some sort of talk show dating game. Oh, it's like a dating game.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Remember this?
Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, this is kind of fun
Intellectual
stuff.
TV.
So basically, I've got
you get to pick the year. You get to pick the year.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. The 90s is what got me into this. The person I was reading the list of listed the My 90s TV. However, I grew up in the 80s. So 90s is great, but I was already kind of an adult at this point. I didn't really, pay much attention to it as much. But if I go to the 1980s one, now I've got the kind of TV set I remember as a kid, not the one I was as an adult. And same idea. Turn on the power. Music videos. That sporting events from the 1980s, rugby.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Aussie rules.
Let's see. Oh, there's 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
Yep. And you're not hearing the volume, are you?
Yes. Yeah.
You are hearing the volume. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Go.
Yep. I don't know.
I couldn't remember if I turned it on to
speakers or if it's
Yeah. So anyway, I'm having fun with this. There's also a 60s and a 70s TV as well.
So does the 60s only give you like 3 channels? Or
Yeah, right. I think so.
You click 3 times.
Yeah, 60s, I have to press the actual power button on the TV set itself. Yeah, you do have ads filter in there. Obviously, they're pushing ads out there for you. That's what that banner is across the screen.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I have to hit my channel.
Oh, yes. You got the UHD and the VHF or whatever it said, the UHF, VHF, is that what it was?
The ad banners do go away after a while. So, but, and then my volume, I have to, I have to kind of turn this little dial to turn the volume down. There we go.
Wow.
So anyway, I've had fun with this. Granted, it's not something I spend hours on, but maybe I did. But this has just been it's just a cool concept. I just love the idea that, somebody sat there and played around. Now, on the 60s one, you can choose different years. Down here, I don't think you can do that on the 80s.
Yeah, no, you could. You could.
Oh, you could.
Well, actually, not the 80s, the 70s,
no, right.
the 90s you did too, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Man, that took someone quite a bit of time to put this together, right? To go by year, to go by all the... I mean, I guess
it is a lot of fun.
Throwing it in, right?
So that is my 80s TV or my 90s TV.com. So MY either 80STV or 90STV.com. A lot of fun.
Wow.
Can I hit my last two? These will be even shorter.
Bravo. Yeah.
Okay. Brian, not you, but I love movies. I love television shows. I'm a big fan. I review movies from time to time. I'm deep into it, but there are certain topics and things that could happen in movies that upset me. Namely animals. If animals are going to meet an untimely demise in a film, that affects me pretty hard, and I don't want to deal with it. Other things are things dealing with fingernails, like people getting hurt at their fingernails or tortured by fingernails. This is a weird thing for me, but it is something I'm hung up on. I don't like to see it. I'm
just going to let you talk about yourself. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So this website, the main name is doesthedogdie.com. And what it is it's crowdsourced emotional spoilers for movies, TVs, books, and more. So what you do is if you're planning on watching a movie, you can put the movie name in here and it will flag it and show you the ratings for various categories that could be seen as traumatic or upsetting for people who watch them. If I want to see all the categories, are animals being abused? Are there spiders? Are there snakes? Are there bugs? Child getting abused, obviously, addiction involved, someone's using drugs, someone's using alcohol, whatever. A lot of different categories that sort by, but what I would do is go choose a film. Give me a film title, Brian. Any film, doesn't matter.
Back to the Future.
Okay. If I go to Back to the Future, I can search for it. And it's giving me questions. Does a cat die? No cat's dying. Does a dog die? No. Although there is a little comment to let you know, hey, there's a scene where a dog's sent back in time, and for a moment you think he disintegrated, but it turns out he's perfectly fine.
Yep.
So it's letting you know these things. And I just think this is hilarious because I've actually used this. We were getting ready to watch a movie the other night. And I know there's a few things that my wife really does not deal with well if they're in movies. Like, well, I'm just going to check it out and pull it up and see. And sure enough, one of our red flag categories was going to be in this movie. So I was able to carefully say, hey, you know what, hun? Just to be aware, this does happen in this movie. So I'm just letting you know. And we're good. Is someone stalked? Yes. Someone is stalked.
Yes, they are.
In the future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Does
a dragon die? I don't understand that one, why that would be kind of a factor, but no dragons die in Back to the Future. Is there addiction? Yes. Lorraine is an alcoholic in the beginning of the film.
Yes, so, yes, that's right.
So again, I just love this. I mean, to me, this is like, all right, if somebody really wants to make sure they're going into a film with just everything they know and they're not going to get upset by things, then this is what they got. So this is doesthedogdie.com is the main title there.
Okay. I need to, in order to know how good this really is, can you type in clowns as a category? because I despise clowns.
Are there clowns?
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
So get to the movie. Okay,
It has clowns.
Obviously,
Chapter 2, there are clowns. Homestruck. Never heard of Homestruck, but it's got clowns in it, so you might want to watch out for that.
Won't be watching.
Joker, the Joker movie. There is a clown. Yes.
Yeah.
Supernatural, The Good Place, Steven Universe, American Horror Story. Yeah.
This is great. So I know exactly what not to watch. Okay. Perfect.
There you go.
Man,
this is great.
Alan, you're killing it today.
Can I give you one more last one before I move on to your pick? One more website.
I don't know.
One more website in this category of just bizarre random websites I stumbled across. This last one is probably the most important. I'm just going to go and say I think everybody listening to this is going to be bookmarking this website when I'm done with it. Okay. The website is McBroken, McBroken. Brian, there are McDonald's out west, right? When you have McDonald's.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I always have to check. I never know quite what's in the Oregon area compared to the rest of the country.
Yeah, we call them something different, but no, I'm kidding. We have McDonald's.
You a fan of ice cream sundaes or any of the hot fudge sundaes they have at McDonald's?
Hot fudge anything, so yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. You ever gone to McDonald's and the hot fudge machine's not working? It's broken?
I have not. I have. That sounds painful. That sounds painful.
Fun. Well, I'm here to save everybody. McBroken is a crowdsourced database where people will let you know in the vicinity where you live or where you're visiting, are the McDonald's in that area, do the ice cream machines work? So where I am right now, I am in Hickory, North Carolina. And if I zoom in a little bit, let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah. It is showing me the McDonald's in my area. And it is showing me all green dots mean right now they are operational. The ice cream machines are working in these. But however, right here, this one, Springs Road, machine was working. It was checked 17 minutes ago. It was not working. So stay clear of the one on Springs Road.
Oh my gosh.
All right. If I had to sum up these last three sites, Brian, this is people with a lot of time on their hands building a wealth of knowledge into a website that you may use 1 minute out of your life, but it's still there and somebody made this happen. So,
so I've never heard of this, but yet someone logged in 17 minutes ago to tell you that ice cream was broken at that particular one. Wow.
Look, it's even showing you stats worldwide. Currently, 9.8% of ice cream machines across McDonald's around the country are not working.
I did not know this was a thing.
Houston is like the highest percentage. 18, almost 19% of McDonald's ice cream machines are not working in Houston, Texas.
It's hot there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it must be. I don't know.
Okay.
Los Angeles is doing a little better. 10% are not working. If I go down to lowest, 0%. All machines are working in Boston. Boston is running really good.
Wow.
I think this is just amazing. I don't understand. I didn't think I needed this in my life, but I've actually used it since I found the site.
So that was you 17 minutes ago, wasn't it? That was
right. Well,
we've been on longer than that. So
yeah. I'm actually, that is kind of my job now, is I actually drive around to McDonald's and check their ice cream machine, and then I log it back in this site. So
McBroken
this is
paying you to
McBroken, McBroken.com, McBroken.com. Okay, Brian, I'm out. I'm done.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I even want to.
Oh, sorry.
Well done.
I took you off, not the screen. I'm sorry. There we go.
Might as well be off. My gosh, that was excellent. I have to say, out of all that though, what am I going to say? I was going to say the TV. The TV was my favorite because that just seems like that took a lot of time for someone to upload. The TV. Which one will I use the most? Probably the Does This Dog Die? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few things that I'm not really sure I want to watch.
That is the most practically useful one. And sure enough, the biggest thing for me is I do not want to see an animal hurt in a movie if I can help it. And this helps me filter those out. I love this. Shane Flint in our chat room is saying He has data analysts that don't do this much work on a daily basis. It's true. Very, very true. I agree. I'm both amazed when I see these kind of sites pop up or this kind of work done, but I'm also a little embarrassed for the people who build it, because the whole time I'm thinking, this is what you chose to spend however many hours of your life building, and Godspeed to you.
Thank you to those people.
Yeah,
but
sure.
but I would love to have your independent wealth that you must have to spend time on that. So
yeah, perfect.
Wow.
Okay, Brian,
okay, Alan.
Looking back over to you.
I'm not nearly as fun. I am not nearly as fun with this one. But I chose this one because you can contribute with me. So even though you've been talking a lot so far. I am going to, so for those who have been listening, we did we've done a couple episodes on this, but a few episodes back, we did a password manager episode where we talked about a number of different password managers that you could use. I think at that time, Alan, you and I were actually testing out several. And I realized that any information I gave you at that point in time was somewhat misinformed, or at least was not experienced informed. So I thought I'd give an update on what the password manager is that I chose to use, and you chose to use, Alan, and give an update on that. So if you want to go ahead and share. So I'm going to do. I'm going to have a pick here, a bit of 1Password, and I know this might be somewhat obvious. We talked about 1Password on that episode. We talked about it being one of the more popular password managers that is out there. But I will say I started using Keeper. Keeper is the one that I think I recommended to you, Alan, initially, because I had just gotten it, thought it was pretty good. Actually got you to try it with me, and I think we both realized in about a week that it was not up to par. So we jump ship, left Keeper, and then went back to 1Password. So for those who haven't listened to the previous episodes, password managers are ways in which you can keep a lot of sensitive information, including passwords, most importantly passwords, through a secure database, and then be able to use that information across multiple computers. Why would you want to use this if you already have your Safari passwords, if you're a Mac user already saved and being used? Well, technically it should be more secure, but I think most importantly, even if you're someone like me who was fairly comfortable with the passwords being saved by my fingerprint on my computer before, 1Password allows me to go into any computer, pull up my password manager, log in, and then I have all of my passwords there. So if I go to a computer at the university, into a different classroom, I can pull up my password manager and be able to still log into different sites that I may want to use in that class. So 1Password, Alan, I haven't spoken with you since you and I jumped into this initially after kind of ditching Keeper and jumping over to 1Password. But I've been pretty happy with it. I think it's pretty solid. What I would say, I'm very happy with it on the iOS side. Very happy with it on the using it on my phone, using it on my iPad, because it comes up and is used just like the current iCloud passwords might be. It takes maybe another step or two to use it on the Mac. So on a website or on an app where I'm logging in, it takes maybe 2 steps where I click the little icon to say, yes, I want to use 1Password. And then I'm using my fingerprint to say, yes, it's me. And then it provides me a list of possible passwords that I can click and put in there. But so here's the part that I want to express to people as being a potential benefit for this. And this is what Alan and I have decided to do. We're sharing an account. We are sharing a family account, so we're paying a little bit more. I think we're paying, if I'm not mistaken, I think we're paying like $6 or $7 a month for this, and we get, I think, 5 accounts right now that is part of it. And the beauty of this, if you haven't really thought through the possible use of this, so if you're someone who, let's say that your parents, this is one of the reasons that we're deciding to do this, is if you have, your parents who may have their own computers and their own phones and their own iPads that they're logging into things, if something were to happen to them, right? We talked about digital legacy a long time ago, Alan. There would be a lot of information that would be very hard to obtain if you didn't have their passwords. Now, as when you're part of a family, so we have a family account, and that family account allows each of us our own login. So Alan has his own login. I have my own login. My wife has her own login. We're going to get our parents each to have their own login. And with the login, they can log into 1Password and get access to all of their passwords that they have put on their account. I do not get access to Alan's unless he goes into that password and says, "Go ahead and share that with the whole family." Right? Or like I have an account with this and I want to share it with the whole family. So I'm going to make this open, or I just want to share it with Brian, or I just want to share it with someone else. The beauty is you can choose per password or per document, whether you want to share it with other people in your family. So imagine how nice that's going to be if our parents get to the point where they say, you know what, we've got a lot of accounts here. Let me just go ahead and share all of those with you guys, just in case something were to happen. And then we can go and be able to log into those to help them, keep those up if they can't access them or something were to happen. So I think this, and that's something that you just can't do with iCloud or with the built-in apps. You really just can't do it very effectively. So.
Well, that was the thing, Brian, that really got me sold on this, is the sharing across members. Because again, if it was just me having my own set of passwords,
fine with the iCloud,
I could probably still use the built-in
Yep.
Safari or Chrome and all that. My problem is I do use multiple browsers on a daily basis.
Yep.
Each browser was storing its own passwords, and I needed them to be able to communicate with each other, and they couldn't. 1Password is the way that now works, because I have 1Password installed, and it's set up on my Safari browser. It's got a little browser extension for Safari, and it's got a browser extension for Chrome. So both are using the same pot of passwords that I've got available to me. Now, Brian, I brought up my window. I'm not showing all my login passwords. I just put a few of them in the favorites to show. But this is where you can actually go and view all of your login and passwords you've got saved. So, and just so you know, CVS I do not use for my health. That was an old one. So I don't care if anybody remembers the email address on this and the password is still blanked out. But the idea is I can go in and edit that username and password if I ever want to here. But otherwise, it's going to autofill it whenever I go to that website and I say 1Password, go and fill in my login and password. This is what it's going to use. But what's great is, like you were saying about the family sharing, this is my personal stuff over here on the left. But over here, these vaults, there's one called Shared by All. And anything I put in that Shared by All is now a password that is available to all users on this family. So, Brian, if you were to go to this website that I've got listed a password for, you could actually have it fill in that login and password automatically from you. And I can do the same on mine. So we are basically sharing an account login and password together for that. And if I decide I don't want to share that anymore, I can take it out and put it back into private.
Yep.
And it's removed.
Very cool.
Now it's just in my private vault. You don't have access anymore. That's what got me sold on this. And the fact that, doing the family plan, I'm spending $1 or $2 a month.
Right.
On this, right. And you're spending a couple bucks your side.
Well,
so
I mean, just for people to recognize, we did this together, and we're sharing the price of what it would be to get our parents on, right? Because I don't expect our parents to look at this and say, "Oh my gosh, this is going to make things easier for us." I expect them to hopefully go and start to put progressively just some important information that they can share with us if need be. But we talked about it before, and I think 1Password is set up that even if we wanted to add new members, so say you wanted to add your son, okay, that's $1 more. I think it's just a 99-cent more or $1 more per person beyond that. And the ability to be able to share passwords with people that might be in need of that, rather than all of them having to remember those passwords. Maybe it's an account for a place that you go as a restaurant to be able to order food, and you want all of the family members to be able to use that same, login. It's something as simple as that. So I think it's great. Now, I will say, I wish there was a little bit more functionality behind things like, adding in documents. I think it's really focused on password, right? And you can add documents, right? I think you can go and say, I want new and I want a document. I want to put my driver's license in there. I've done that. I've taken a picture of my driver's license front and back just to have it digitally in case I'm ever somewhere. Yeah. So there you go. I can go and put in different documents. I can go and put in all of these things to, for example, I'm going to be putting all my bank account information and sharing that with my wife. Those aren't logins, but this is our account numbers that we have for these different places. Here's my identity. Here's my insurance card in case, I ever have an issue and I don't have my insurance card with me. You have it for me as well. So I think the family is, you're exactly right. That's what sold me on this was the family. And the fact that we have multiple people that potentially could see use in sharing your information with other people. So
I'll say one last thing about 1Password that I do like, although it's made me feel really, really insecure and bad. There is a function called the Watchtower that will take a look at all of your passwords collectively and let you know where you rate on the security level of your passwords and how many identical passwords you're using at different other sites that you shouldn't be doing and so forth. One of our viewers, Shane Flynn, I know is involved in government security, high-end data use. So I'm sorry for this. This is going to be upsetting to see, but my Watchtower score is not good. It says right now my security score is weak at 358. I've got 1,200 reused passwords. Okay, that's a problem. I understand that. I'm going to work on this. This is what this tool is helping me do, is helping me diagnose these problems. And I will find this. 252 weak passwords, 78 unsecured websites. Yes, this is a bad score. I'm working on it. This is a me problem. I understand that. But thank you to 1Password for making
Alan, what's your score, Alan? 358.
358.
You want to share mine real quick?
Sure.
And 350. Yeah, we really should not have a technology podcast, should we? But okay, let's just say this is us showing why 1Password is really good. Is it? I'm sure you and I both went in and put a bunch of reused passwords just to display the benefits of Watchtower and all of that, right? So, but I did. If we were playing golf, I beat you. But unfortunately,
if I had been using 1Password for the last several years, I would be having 1Password generate unique passwords for every website for me.
That's exactly
right. But
right.
instead, I imported all of my passwords in from my other browsers, and that's why so many passwords are the same, and they shouldn't be. I need to go fix that. But at least this is reminding me why I need to do that. So it's good.
Oh, and I love the fact that you have 409 that you've chosen not to do two-factor authentication, even though they offer it.
I know.
I didn't want to do it. Yeah.
This is therapeutic for me sharing it to the world like this, like I am, but that's what I'm doing. But I'm vouching for you on 1Password. I do think 1Password is a great tool. It's, I know we were looking at some other alternatives. We tried out some others, and I think 1Password we just kind of assumed was that seemed to be the one everybody was using, and we wanted to find something a little more robust. But honestly, now that I'm in 1Password, I'm like, this is the number one for a reason because it's really good. Yeah. Shane Flint says your score says hack me. That is the terminology it's using. I agree, and I am. That's going to be my weekend project now. Is I'm going to work on reducing or improving my Watchtower score. That's my thing.
We will have a challenge, Alan. We'll have a challenge. Let's see we can get our scores up within, I don't know, certainly the next month, so that we maybe revisit on our next bits or something.
All right, 1 month from now at our next bits, we'll do a revisit on this. Okay.
All right. You were beating me by one, so we'll see what happens next time. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Alan. You got another one?
I do have one more.
Okay.
This is a hardware pick. And it's not going to be for everybody, but I think it does go along a little bit with some of the conversations we've had in the past about really good Zoom setups, doing video conferencing, using microphones and using your cameras to kind of have a good presence when you're doing video conferencing. I'll tell you my issue. I have 2 locations where I do work, or I may be in front of the computer here in my home. And then I've got my office downtown. And I'm there pretty much. That's my two locations. I'm portable. I've got a laptop. I'm between the two spots. So I really want to have a good setup for video conferencing in both locations. Okay. I have a ring light here at my home location. I've got one at my office location. I have the same microphone at both locations as well. The problem I was having here is this is the microphone. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of this holster. And before, I had it on a mic stand that would kind of sit right here in front of me, but it's not the best placement for a mic. I mean, I'm using my keyboard. I'm having to move it out of the way. I'm having to kind of figure out where to put the mic stand to have it here. I have fixed a mount right. I have an overhang right over my head here on my desk. So I actually mounted a mic holder up there. So now I can put the mic up in that location, have it just hang there in front of me. It's not quite as close to my mouth, so it's not quite sounding as good, but it's okay. And for the kind of use I do, it works fine, and it keeps it out of the way. So I've got all my workspace still here. It's good. But that's not what my pick is. My pick is I got to my point in my office where I really needed something even more flexible than this. And I don't have anything to kind of mount the mic on above me. I have a very open desk area. And I needed something where I could bring that mic in or out as needed, but I could also tuck it away, not have it take up my room. So you probably, if you've seen anybody on a YouTube video or on a podcast, you've seen them have the mic stands, the arm mic stands. Okay.
Yep.
These, if I can kind of show you how it works, this is a clamp that fits onto the edge of a desk or the back of a desk or somewhere where you've got a surface that can clamp into. And then once it's clamped into place, this arm can move at several different joint levels to different heights and different places to where you could actually have it to where it kind of brings the mic right up to the level where you need it right there in your spot. Okay. And I can also move it up out of the way. I can swivel it around. I can do a lot of different movements with it. Now I don't have it mounted here because unfortunately my home desk is not equipped and set up to where I can mount this anywhere. It's just this is an old desk I'm in, a desk that's built into a wall. I don't have any place to clamp it into. Otherwise I would be using it here. In my office situation, it's been great. A lot of people look at this and say, well, it seems a little overkill for just having a mic that you're using. But think about this. If you want to keep your desk clear, but you do want to have a dedicated mic, you don't want to just use the microphone on your laptop or your computer, but you just don't want it always having to sit there or always having to move the mic into place, with a mic stand. Getting something like this and finding a good place to mount it to your desk and being able to bring it in, swing it into place, and then you can back it back out and even fold it up back into a corner. It's really nice because then you can actually move the mic as close as you want to get it to your mouth, that you're comfortable having it up there and in the screen. But when you're not using the microphone, it can fold back up and kind of tuck away back in the corner of your desk or wherever you have it mounted. The reason I bring this up, Brian, is because these are a lot more affordable than you might think. This is one I got for $35. Here's the listing on Amazon where I got it. $35. Build quality. I mean, sure, it's not the greatest build quality you can possibly get, but for $35 for something that you may use once in a while when you're doing a video conference or you're recording something, and to have this clamped on your desk for $35 works great. And it even comes with the windscreen attachment. You can see that attachment there that you can attach onto the arm. Again, people look at this and they think, oh, this is a big podcaster or this is broadcast or somebody doing this. I'm saying no. I actually think there's some great applications. If you're sensitive to your desk space, you need something more flexible. You want to get the microphone close, but you still need to be able to do work on your keyboard, your mouse, or wherever else. This is just a great tool to work with and a lot of flexibility. Great. I put it in my work desk about 2 weeks ago. I've already had, 12 video conference calls where I've used it. I can get the mic really close to where I am, but my hands are still free to move around the keyboard. Nothing's blocking it with a mic stand or anything on my desk. It's just great. And if you're okay with the way it looks and kind of gives you that podcaster feel. But if you're okay with that, it looks really good. You could also maneuver it like I have before, where the microphone is still just out of the frame of my video. But because it's on this arm, I can still maneuver it exactly where I want it, and it's not distracting. And then when I'm done, easily just tuck it back in the corner. So,
yep. No, this is great. Yep.
Again, $37, and it even comes with the windscreen. It comes with all the gear you need. It's ready to go. It does not have the actual mic clip. You have to get that with the microphone you've got, but it has a universal adapter that you can screw that mic clip on. So this little mic holder here came with my microphone. So when you get this, it's just a screw at the end, a threaded bolt at the end of it, ready for whatever attachment of mic clip you're going to bring onto it. But I mean, it works for any kind of mic I've seen so far, and it looks really good. So this is I'm recommending, I don't even know the manufacturer. It's the E1 Life store on Amazon. If you go on Amazon and you search for these boom arms, that's really what they're called, is microphone boom arms. The one by E1 Life, EWONLIFE, is the one I'm using. $37, highly recommended so far in my use of it. They can get a lot more expensive and with a lot more durability, a lot more features, a lot more articulation as far as how it can move. But for basic, simple use, you just really need those two joints, and you can get the mic just about anywhere you need it at any location, and it works great.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I can second the fact that having a microphone on your desk completely limits your ability to type and do the things you want to do. So I have the Yeti Blue, which is, I see one of the microphones on here that it's suggesting works. So I'll lift mine up. Mm-hmm. So every time that I do a podcast, I pull it off my shelf and put it over here in front of my keyboard, and then try to maneuver it somehow that I'm close enough, but I'm also still able to type. And then right after I'm done, I put it away because I know that it's not at all comfortable for me to have here while I'm working. So the fact that I could put this over on an arm, put it off to the side, every time I want to do a web conference or a podcast, just bring it in, have it in the same spot, but yet my hands are free underneath. I think I had been thinking about this, and it's good to know that you can get something decent for a price like that. So it's good.
Yeah, and it's super. I mean, it comes. The one I got comes all pre-assembled. You really just, the only thing you had to do is find a place to bolt it onto your desk or somewhere on an end table or wherever you're going to fasten it to.
And it just needs the ledge, right? It just needs a ledge to clamp top and bottom. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be something on the bottom of your desk. I mean, I was actually looking because I've got this overhang above my desk. If the layout of my shelf was a little bit differently, I could actually mount it up higher and then bring the mic down from up above instead of having it be mounted down on the surface of my desk. So you do have some flexibility where, I mean, I've even seen people mount it on the side of something where they've got somewhere on the side of their wall they can mount it to, and they bring the microphone out to the side. The whole key is just giving you flexibility to position that mic where you need it without it taking up your desk space, without blocking your keyboard, without blocking your hands or anything else. And it works great.
Perfect.
All right.
Wow. Okay, Alan, I'm going to be honest with you. I think you killed it this time. Yeah, I think I don't think there's any question that you were the winner here.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah. I mean, Alan, quite honestly, you made it for last week. Somewhat made it for last week.
I had to redeem myself a little bit. I tried to make sure my picks range from extremely practical and useful, like the mic stand, economical, like the photo editor, Photopea website, to the bizarre but yet oddly intriguing and fascinating websites like the other ones I brought up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, Mick Broken. I mean, that really was the most important thing you brought today, obviously. And because we brought it, and the fact that all these users are going to start using it now, that means the data is going to get better, right? That means the data is going to be more accurate, and we are going to have, great information about the McDonald's, ice cream delivery capabilities. So, yeah. Fantastic.
Good.
I mean, the fact that they don't have an app, that's a little concerning, though, right? That I can't pull it up as I'm driving and then know that the notification would be deleted. Yeah, I want notifications. That's what I want.
Brian, the brothers in tech army, I like to call it, the people who listen to this show. The masses of people family. Who listen to the podcast that we put out, the recorded version of this. Once they start swarming to McBroken, don't be surprised when you start hearing about venture capital being infused in McBroken. Becomes a revenue model instead. They go with apps. They go with notifications. It's going to
go public. You can buy stock in it. And it's going to.
You're going to be watching the bell ringing on the stock market floor sometime in the near future, and there's going to be the founder of McBroken ringing that bell.
The guy's going to have to come out of his shell to actually be in front of people, and it's going to be great.
Brian, did I ever tell you the story about the very first website I ever built?
Does it have to do with Waffle House?
Yeah, did I tell you this?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I tell other people about this. Yeah. No, I mean, if you'd like to remind us, I don't think we've said it on here. I don't believe.
I put a lot of time. So in case anybody wasn't familiar, back in the very, very early days, I'm talking, this was 93, 94, maybe.
Yeah, 92, 93, maybe.
92, right? 93, when the World Wide Web was just totally infancy. Dial-up modems, get on the internet, and you had maybe 20 websites that you could actually go to at any given time. It was all just text and really, really low quality, really annoying graphics if used at all. My roommate and I got really pretty deep into it and actually built a website for Waffle House, the Waffle House chain. They didn't ask us to. We just did it because we wanted to. And we actually did go and catalog every location of every Waffle House across the nation and had a map. People could choose a state and see a listing of all the Waffle Houses and addresses and contact information there. So I understand what McBroken was working with here. There's a lot of data organizing and putting together into a website to make it work. Waffle House we wrote Waffle House offering to sell the website we built for them, because Waffle House did not have a website at that time. Nobody really had a website at that time. They never took us up on that. I'm still a little bitter about that, but that was my experience. So yes, I totally understand where McBroken is. I get it. It's a lot of data entry, a lot of management of data and keeping things up to date and current. Hats off to you.
Well, it's the things you do for the good of society, right? I mean, someone is doing that for all of us to gain, all of us to benefit from. And quite honestly, he needs to get paid. He or she needs to get paid. Needs to make this work. So
I didn't even see any ads on McBroken. So,
was that? So which one was the one that said at the bottom, donate a coffee? Okay, that was the My 80s TV had a little button where you can donate a coffee to the person. I don't know how McBroken's getting funded right now. I have no idea, but I hope they continue.
Well, all right, Brian, I think we're good, right? Let me wrap this up.
I'm quite amazed, actually, how well that went on your side. So the gauntlet has been laid down for next time.
You got to step it up for next month. Stepping it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Brian,
good.
If anybody has any experience with any of the suggestions we made today, want to make some comments about it.
If you have any experience with any of those websites that Alan brought up, if you're the user that told us 17 minutes ago that that McDonald's was out of ice cream, please let us know. You can email us at info@themesh.tv. So that's info at themesh.tv. And most importantly, we just love ideas of new topics to get into. Quite honestly, Alan and I have been at this now for, Alan, maybe 150 episodes, 120, 30 episodes, something like that. So we're running dry on ideas. So it would be great if you would contribute some new ideas and things that you'd like us to cover. Because if not, we're just going to go back 2 years and just start redoing everything and pretend like it never happened. So let us know. Now, you can also go to our website, at www.brothers-in-tech.com. Here at the bottom, brothers-in-tech.com, where we'll show you some previous episodes, and you can go back and check up on us. Several of those episodes are still great information, still useful today. So go back and check out earlier episodes. And for all those people that have been emailing me to say that, we think that you should take over the show after last week from here on, I appreciate the sentiment, but you know what, Alan doesn't have much else going on these days, so we need to keep him engaged, and he just redeemed himself. So the McBroken website pretty much redeemed him for the next few weeks. So welcome back, Alan.
Thank you. I appreciate that, everybody. All right, so we're going to wrap up Brothers in Tech for today. As a quick bulletin note, just so everybody's aware, the McDonald's on Springs Road, still the machine is broken. Did a refresh, still not working. So if you were heading down Springs Road looking for a McDonald's ice cream and you're excited about pulling into the drive-thru, I'm telling you right now, don't do it.
Don't
machine is broken.
Do it. Don't do it.
Don't set yourself up for that heartbreak. It's tough. It's tough. I've been there. Well,
let me just tell you that all of the McDonald's close to me are working just fine. Yeah. Even though it's 100 degrees outside, they're all working just fine. I mean, we're
Oregon.
We stay on top of the ice cream machine out here. So, all right, bro.
All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see y'all next time. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.